Fungi, these are generally multicellular. Generally, they are multicellular, except one or two cases, such as yeast, which is a fungi, but it is unicellular. Remember it, these are multicellular. And heterotrophic, fungi is multicellular as well as heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means it depends on others for food. It cannot synthesize its own food. It doesn't have got a chlorophyll pigment like the plants, so it cannot synthesize its own food. It depends on others for food. Then another important factor is that character is that these cells are eukaryotic. You have already known eukaryotic means there is presence of a true nucleus, so cells are eukaryotic. Cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, body is filamentous. Okay, the body is filamentous, filament like, and it is called mycelium. Remember it, it is called mycelium. Okay, the mycelium is made up of thread like filaments which are individually called hyphae. Got it? The body is filamentous and it is called mycelium. The mycelium is made up of thread like filaments which are called hyphae. Got it? Reserve food is glycogen. Here the reserve food is glycogen. Chief mode of nutrition is absorptive, that means absorption. Okay. Sometimes some of the fungal species may be parasitic or saprophytic. Got it? Chief mode of nutrition is absorptive, that is absorption, and some of them are also parasite as well as saprophyte. You have already known what saprophyte is, that is it lives on dead and decaying organic matter. As far as parasites are concerned, they live on living organisms. Got it? Parasites. Reproduction. The reproduction is both by sexual as well as asexual method. Reproduction is both by sexual and asexual method. Now come to the fourth kingdom, that is plantae. Okay, that means plants. All the plants have been included under the kingdom of plantae. Okay, these are multicellular, eukaryotic, and they are also called as metaphytes. Multicellular, eukaryotic, and are also known as metaphytes. Okay, multicellular, eukaryotic, and also called as metaphytes. They have got a rigid cell wall. There is presence of a cell wall, that is an envelope around the cell membrane towards the outer side, that is called a cell wall, and this cell wall is made up of cellulose. It is a very important character as far as plants are concerned. Okay. Another important one is that autotrophic. They are autotrophic. How? Because of the presence of chlorophyll pigment, they synthesize the food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, and the source of energy is sunlight. So they are autotrophic. They can synthesize their own food. However, some are heterotrophic, but partially heterotrophic. They are not totally heterotrophic, rather partially heterotrophic, like some of the insectivorous plants. Okay, insectivorous plants such as bladderwort or parasites such as cuscuta. Some of the insectivorous plants such as bladderwort, it is partially heterotrophic, and some of the parasites such as cuscuta is also a partially heterotrophic. Okay. Then food is stored in form of starch. Food is here stored in form of starch. Reproduction primarily by sexual method. Here the reproduction generally takes place by sexual method, but vegetative reproduction is also found, that is asexual method is also found, but primary mode of reproduction is sexual. Example, multicellular algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms. These are all included under the kingdom of plantae. Plantae are otherwise called as metaphytes. Okay. Now come to the last one, that is animalia. As the name suggests, animals must have been included under this group, isn't it? So these are multicellular heterotrophs. Multicellular means many celled. Heterotrophs means unable to produce its food, depends on others for food. So these are multicellular heterotrophs and are also called as metazoa. They are also known as metazoa. These are eukaryotes without cell wall. Remember it, these do not have got a cell wall around the cell membrane. Remember it, but plants have got a cell wall around the cell membrane. Okay. So, here the reserve food material is glycogen or fat, but as far as plants are concerned, the reserve food material was cellulose, but here the reserve food material is glycogen or fat. Then principal mode of nutrition is holozoic ingestion method. Principal mode of nutrition is holozoic, and main mode of reproduction is sexual. Main mode of reproduction is sexual. Now, even though all the living organisms have been divided into, have been categorized into 5 types basing on some of the characters, still then this system of classification has got some merits as well as some demerits. Some of the merits include, here the prokaryotes and eukaryotes have been separately placed, isn't it? All the prokaryotes have been included under Monera, and all the eukaryotes, they have been divided or they have been grouped into the rest of the 4 kingdoms. So, there is clear cut separation of prokaryotes and eukaryotes into different groups or different kingdoms. Number 1. Number 2, separation of fungi from plants. Fungi has been separated from plants. Why? As far as plants were concerned, the main criteria for a plant is that, important criteria is that, an important character is that it can synthesize its own food. Fungi cannot. Fungi depends on others for food. It is heterotrophic. So, fungi has been separated from plants in this 5 kingdom system of classification. Then last one is that the unicellular organisms, all the unicellular organisms have been categorized, have been placed in one group, okay, that is monerans. All the unicellular organisms are placed in one group under the monera. So, these are certain merits as far as 5 kingdom system of classification. But like any other system of classification, it has also got some demerits. What are those? Let us see. The demerits are the placement of some photosynthetic algae in protists, even though their characters are plant-like. So, some of the photosynthetic algae have been placed under the protista, okay, though some of their characters resemble them with plant, isn't it? So, if their characters resemble them with plants, so they should be included in plants, they shouldn't be included in protists, but they have been placed there. That is a demerit as far as this system of classification. Another important one is that the viruses have not been assigned to any kingdom. There is no such word called virus as far as this 5 kingdom system of classification is concerned. So, viruses have not been included under any kingdom. It is a very big demerit of this system of classification. Okay. So, today what we learnt? We learnt about the 5 kingdom system of classification, how the living organisms have been categorized into different kingdoms, have been categorized into different groups on the basis of certain basic characters, like whether they are unicellular or multicellular, whether they are prokaryotic or eukaryotic, whether they are autotrophic or heterotrophic. On that basis, different kingdoms have been formed. So, then we studied about in details about the different types of kingdoms. Got it? That is Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Then there are various merits or merits of this system and demerits of this system. Okay. In the next class, we will study one by one, starting from Monera to Animalia, Plantae. Got it? Thank you.